Sometimes I'm asking my clients, when was the last time that you felt happy, joyful, energized, fulfilled? And then what follows is a long, awkward silence. They do have happy moments, but they cannot remember being in that state of contentment or fulfillment for a long time. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Hi, my name is Vassia. I'm a psychologist and founder of Anti-Loneliness, and I help high achievers like you break free from perfectionism because perfectionism, trust me, doesn't allow you to feel happy, self-criticism, and eventually burnout. So today, I want to talk about something incredibly important: happiness, your happiness. And why is that not happening actually despite all your success? Why does it feel that joy is always out of reach, whatever you do? So let me ask you something. When was the last time that you celebrated your achievements? Not because someone else told you to or told you that they're proud of you, but because you genuinely felt proud of yourself. Actually, for many high achievers and people that want to have an impact, that want to care about others, happiness seems almost dangerous. Like if they let themselves be happy, then something bad will happen, or they think that if I rest now, if I celebrate now, then I might regret it tomorrow. Right? Does it feel familiar? So I see that all the time in my work. And it's the high achievers that they actually all the time scold themselves because they could have done better, because they're not good enough. You know, this inner critic we've talked about in many other videos in the past. It is exhausting, definitely, talking to ourselves like that. But when we're speaking all the time in this voice of you could have done it better, this voice of criticism and judging and stress, there's no room for any other voice. There's no room for for joy. That's what happens. And I had a client, and he was a very successful entrepreneur, but he was always feeling that he was running a race that he could never win. And no matter how much he accomplished, he couldn't shake that feeling that this wasn't over. I had to do more. I had to try more. It's not enough. There were also many people congratulating him on his success, but he didn't recognize that. He didn't feel so. His brain was stuck on the one thing that was not working or the one thing that he hadn't done perfectly. And of course, it wasn't that he was not able to feel joy. It was just the fact that he wasn't able to recognize it. That's the bit that we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to use, of course, neuroscience about that. Here's what happens in our brain when we're not happy because we cannot recognize joy. When we are constantly stressed or focused on achieving, our brain doesn't find happiness or joy useful. When we are stressed, our brain thinks that it's more useful to hang on to memories of negative information because that's more protective. That's a useful information that we can use when this threat comes back again in our lives. The brain is wired to detect threats and solve problems. And this is what we call negativity bias. Your brain focuses on the negative or stressful because it thinks that those things will be useful and help you survive. So even if 99 things go well in your day, you will focus on the one thing that didn't. But here's the thing, you can, of course, retrain your brain. That's the good news. That's what we call neuroplasticity. You can start noticing the joy and the wins, and then more moments of positivity will arise. It's not that they're not there, they are there, but now you're noticing them. And I'm going to show you how. We're going to break the cycle today, but also what I want to remind you is that last week, the doors for my program from depleted to radiant opened, but now they're closed. This cohort is already working with me in order to create a new, more positive life, a life where they feel fulfilled, a life where they're not overwhelmed by stress, a life where they move forward in their lives and they are achieving, but without flirting with burnout all the time. But If you want to join that program next time that the doors open, of course, you can sign up here in the waiting list and I will let you know immediately when the next cohort will start. Let's talk about 3 powerful steps that have helped my clients embrace happiness, and I'm sure that they can help you too. First one, shift your focus with a daily wins review. What does it mean? Remember that I said before that many high achievers are very focused on the next goal, and even when they achieve it, then they focus on the next goal, and they don't stop in order to recognize what they have already achieved and accomplished. But if you're constantly shifting your focus to the next goal, you will never allow yourself to feel the satisfaction that you have achieved, but also you will not allow your brain to create the neurons that feel and register this celebratory moment. You will not allow your brain to produce the hormones that stem from joyful moments. So that's the change that we want to facilitate. So every evening, take 5 minutes and write down 3 small wins from your day. Small. The key word is small here. And they don't have to be monumental. Did you manage a difficult meeting? Write it down. Maybe did you take a moment to breathe before reacting to stress? Those count. This is a win. This simple practice starts rewiring your brain to notice the good, not just the stressful. Do you get it now what we are going to do? We're actually starting a transformational change in your brain. And of course, an example, I remember one of my clients, she was a lawyer and she started doing that. Even though in the beginning she didn't feel like doing it, she didn't believe in it. It's okay. I know that you're not going to believe in it in the beginning. But she realized how much she was actually accomplishing each day. She started to feel more grounded and more confident, and yes, eventually more happy. Second tip, practice gratitude. I'm sure you've heard it before, but I promise you it works. It's one of the most powerful tools. And it doesn't mean just saying to yourself, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for the great weather. I mean, actively practicing it daily. What you need to do is start noticing more and more the things that happen around you. Teach your brain to recognize and hold to the positive experience. I remember one of my clients, she used to tell me, I don't have time for gratitude. Okay, start small. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Every morning, before you open your email, write 2 things that are working at this moment. Or before you go to bed, start noticing things that you're grateful for today. It can be a person that supported you today. It can be an unexpected surprise or change in your day that you hadn't planned. It can be how your body supported you through this long work day. It can be how you showed up courageously in a meeting with your team. It can be anything you feel grateful for. So, again, when you're practicing gratitude, you are teaching your brain to recognize and hold on to these positive experiences. And again, over time, this shifts your focus from what's missing in your life. That's what we want to change, to what's already there. And that's a huge shift towards happiness. Third tip, schedule joyful breaks. Let's talk about something that most high achievers resist, rest. You might think that if I stop, if I take a break, everything will fall apart. I know that, I've been there. But rest doesn't make you weak, it makes you stronger. There was a client that he was a CEO and he told me that if I stop, my company will suffer. So we work actually on not stopping work, but scheduling small intentional moments of joy. This is, for example, where he would take 10 minutes to enjoy his morning coffee without checking emails. That's important. Without enjoying his coffee in front of his computer. He was setting aside time each weekend for something that made him feel really good. But first, we had to make a list of what made him feel really good. So he was picking activities from this list. Slowly, he realized that this moment didn't take away from his working time or from his success. Actually, these activities enhanced his success. because he had more energy, because he had more creativity, and because we had more patience. So when you're scheduling joyful breaks, you're actually telling yourself it's okay to rest. It's okay to enjoy this moment. You're not going to jinx your success by being happy. Don't worry about that. Actually, joy fuels success. Let's recap. To start feeling happiness, we need to retrain our brain. Do a daily wins review to focus on the good. Practice gratitude to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. And schedule joyful breaks in order to remind yourself that rest is not the enemy of success. These are small changes, but as I said, they create massive shifts over time. And remember, I've seen it in countless clients that I've worked with before. They were once trapped by their inner critic, just like you, and I have been there as myself. So you deserve to feel joy and contentment, and not because everything is perfect, but because there have been things working around you. There have been opportunities of joy around you. So if this resonates with you, don't forget to join the waiting list for the program From Depleted to Radiant. We're not going to go from struggling to surviving. We're going to go from struggling to thriving and make a fulfilling and joyful life for you. I would love to hear how these 3 tips apply to you, whether you have used some, whether you started using already. Watch the video and come back in the comments and let me know how it works. Drop a comment and let's keep this conversation going. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, because this is the place where you're going to be every week and learn more about your mental health and how you can be a high achiever, but also a happy high achiever. Thank you for watching. And remember, happiness is not something you earn, it's something you allow yourself to have. Have a good day. Take good care of yourself.